So I just got this letter in the mail, and I realized it was one of the old companies that I last worked for back in 2022. And my God, just seeing this company and when I worked at it, just such nostalgia to me. You know, that was like the beginning of when this country was starting to get fundamentally corrupt. Oh man, so I finished bartending school. I was really happy and excited, and I was working at the next bar I can possibly take. That was at the easiest level, so I can work my way up. And this arcade bar called Main Event, whose parents' company is Dave and Buster's, which I didn't know about till now. So to get on with the story, and not to make it like a long story, I had a 5 day process of the background check and hiring procedure. It took forever, in and out of calls. And when I finally got my foot in the door, I had like a key card, a shirt, and there was all these emails and topics. And I remember like the back room there where they did the interviews and like the computer work or get your badge and stuff. They kept playing like the same repetitive sound over and over, and it gets so stuck in your head. Do stuff like that, and it just gets stuck there. I mean, it was like an arcade kind of environment. I mean, it was an arcade. So when I was bartending there, it was out of control. Like some of the customers were out of control. I've heard stories from like other bartenders saying that there were some of them waiting out in the parking lot for them to like kick their asses basically or something like that, or call them out on something that happened. Like a lot of the people there were pretty psychopathic. I mean, I guess there's a reason we don't go to arcades and places like that anymore. So I remember, long story short, I was only there for 3 days. And they were telling me how this place stopped scheduling people after 3 days because, I don't know, nobody wants to work or whatever that discussion was back then. They can't get anybody to work there. Gee, I wonder why. After 3 days, I was taken off the schedule without an explanation. I emailed the manager saying I was willing to work weekends, and that's how you get the secret code to staying at this job, basically. And when I even said that, there was no answer, no response from anybody, and they just had all those annoying ass group chats telling us how to do our jobs that we already know what to do. And no response from the emails about that. And like after day 3, I went on the account, and there was something about schedule update. You get on, it said, you are no longer working here, basically. And I was like, woo, 3 days, you know. I remember like my 3rd day there, I was getting like stress headaches because of just how overwhelming that place was. I had lack of training and lots of customers and this responsibility. And I remember when I got overwhelmed because of everything going on with such corruption and no training and not set me up to win. Everybody would say, oh, tough love, you can't handle it, then don't work here. And people, like I said, it's like, I swear, we're getting more psychopaths every day. I mean, if I were to go to another country with a great economy and I were to tell them a situation like that, they'd probably call those people psychopaths. I mean, that place does make you a psychopath. Thank God I got out of there. A lot of the people that worked there weren't really right in the head. So anyway, after I was taken off the schedule, I realized, like, dude, I still have my shirt. I still have the fucking key card. And this to me is like, they do all of that just to stop scheduling you for 3 days. And when I went back to the place with my uniform, I was basically just there to turn in the uniform and that key card because I assumed that key card had like a lot of stuff on it that's worth keeping, I guess. And I went up there to the service desk with the shirt and the key card. And before I even got to stand in line to talk to them, one of the managers that I knew at the time was approaching me with like their eyes wide open with a clipboard. Like I was intimidating. Like I was like trying to pull some Robert De Niro shit in a mafia. They're like, over here, over here, over here, without saying a word. No explanation. No shout. Just directing me to the manager or the owner of the building's office. And then the manager was like, so what can I do for you? And I was like, just here to return my uniform and get my last paycheck since you guys just stopped scheduling me without notice. I guess that's cool. And they're like, oh, okay. He was acting as if he gets it like all the time. And he was like, yeah, okay, I'll send you your paycheck and your whatever. And he never did. I got my W-2 after that, but I never got that paycheck. And 3 years later, I get a letter in the mail saying that they owe me money. And that this account record is like outstanding. And it was $253, which is quite a lot of money for working 3 days without tips. and saying stuff like you can claim your money right here, right now. Boy, I signed the shit out of it. I'm gonna write a letter on the sides telling my experience of this place. And I noticed like a lot of other bars I went to did the same shit. I worked at one bar at Rivertown, which is a brewery that went bankrupt a few years later. They had me work one day for free, and they told me I was not on the hiring list. And the people there were kind of dicks. Another place in Portland, Maine, had me work for free on Saturday nights, and I get 30% of the tips or something like that, which was like $30. And I wasn't even bartending. I was basically cleaning up everybody's fucking dishes like a bar back and picking up food because it was like a stylish pub where the light comes on to go downstairs and get the food and bring it up kind of mentality. I remember my third Saturday, they basically just tossed me and were like, oh, we don't need you, goodbye. And they said, we'll call you when we're hiring. I go back there in the following summer and there's like new people in lines to the door. The person's like, oh, we're not hiring now, we'll let you know. And another one in Boston had me work one day for free on serving job, no tips included, and one free meal, which was pretty nice of them. And so I did one day of serving to learn about the quote unquote menu. The day after that, they never called me and I was not paid for my time. There were a couple other places I worked at. I just can't remember the names to them right now. They all had the same thing, you know, working for free or being taken off the schedule without notice.